Hey guys, MCU Collector here with another figure review. Next up is the Hasbro Marvel Legends series Spider-Man 60 Amazing Years, the Beyond Amazing 60th Anniversary of Spider-Man premium line, yearly line, annual line, whatever it is. This is the Target exclusive Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse version of Spider-Man Noir and Spider-Ham. Now this is kind of labeled as a 2-pack. Which kind of sucks because Spider-Gwen and came with Spider-Ham, and that was absolutely not a 2-pack because he's basically a statue, although he does have an articulated head. But it's kind of crazy that this is being called a 2-pack, which then makes it a higher price. I want to say that was like $30 from Target. I don't even remember at this point. It's been so long. It took like a week to get to me or something. It was kind of ridiculous, and Target got it real late. Some Target stores got it, but up here in Northern California, like, no store got it. It was a really weird thing. It was never on a planogram or anything. Stores didn't get it, so it kind of sucks if you weren't able to get it, if you missed out on a pre-order and couldn't get it. It's just a really weird situation. But he looks pretty cool. We have the Spider-Ham already. I think this one's a little bit brighter, if anything. But Spider-Man Noir looks awesome. But he is basically a repaint, or a kit bash, I guess you could say, because he's got like Star-Lord T'Challa parts. So a lot of him is the Star-Lord T'Challa, which I actually think I have in this gigantic pile of Disney Plus figures that I have on my desk here. So you can see that a lot of him is actually reused body parts. So it looks like, well, I guess the lower legs are different. So the upper legs and then the torso is going to be the same. But there are some different pieces. Like he's got a belt added on there. The jacket is all new. And then the arms, I guess, were reused from Peter B. Parker. I will show all the Into the Spider-Verse figures together so we can take a look at it. But looking at the package, we get the 3D render there on the front. This actually makes it look like the collar piece to the sweater that he's wearing is one piece. It is not as a separate piece. When we switch out the heads, we'll take a look at that. But it does look pretty good there on the side. You can see we got Noir and Spider-Ham because, again, it is labeled as a 2-pack. Spider-Noir and Spider-Ham up there. Back of the package like so. We get an additional interchangeable head. We get a gun for Spider-Man Noir. And that is it. Enough of that. Let's take a closer look at these two guys. We'll take a closer look at Spider-Ham and just get him out of the way. Okay, so here is Spider-Ham. And here is the original release on the right. So as you can see, they are the exact same, but we get a darker blue and a brighter red. So a little bit shiny, especially in the head, whereas here was a very matte finish, a very dull looking red if I have them side by side. Like at the time, I probably wouldn't have thought anything of it. But yeah, it's just super dull looking, but it is the exact same, as you could see there. I'm not sure which one would be a little bit more color accurate or which one I'd prefer. The blue on this is just super shiny. It just looks really weird. Like you could really see the glare coming off of that. I like the fact that this one was more of a matte finish. But this one came with Spider-Gwen in the single release in the Stiltman Build-A-Figure. It was just an accessory. It's not a separate figure like this one is making it out to be. So this one's just one of those really weird ones. It's like, well, what the hell was Hasbro doing to call this a 2-pack and to pay and to charge more for it? Like, it's already supposed to be more because the anniversary line has always been $5 more per figure. That's always been the case every year. That's not anything new. I know everyone thought it was the new retail price of regular figures. It wasn't. The premium line always has a $5 upcharge, which sucks. This 2-pack was $29.99. Oh, I guess that would be right then, right? $5 upcharge? Son of a bitch. I guess that works, but then it's... shit. Yeah, I guess that's right, because... Well, like Iron Spider, $31.99. Or $31.49, or whatever weird price. The pricing's just been all over the place. I guess that's right. If it's $25 regular retail for a figure, and the premium line was $5 more, then this is the price. But it still sucks either way you look at it. Yeah, I still don't like it because I would have thought like $27.99. I think that was the price of like the Amazing Fantasy Spider-Man and everything like that, the single released ones. So $27.99, that would have been better. The fact that it's $2 more is not very much at all. I know, I get it, whatever. But it's still more than it normally should be priced. So it still sucks for something that all it's going to do is move its head. So the articulation, it's on a ball joint, it can move around, but then when you do that, you have to watch the weight distribution because then he might just topple over. So things to consider. I mean, the sculpt of it looks pretty good. It's just, you know, there's really nothing to it. Yeah, let's move on to Noir. Okay, so here we have an up-close look at Spider-Man Noir. The hat looks awesome. I love the digital print that they put on there, like the comic book dots that we saw in the movie, in the animation style. It was awesome. So we get a little bit of that print on the front of the hat, and then it's kind of throughout. So like here on his face, you could see it. The shoulders of the jacket, you could see it. The cuffs, forearms of the jacket, and then above his knees, you get some of it. I love that they added that on there. The style of it is just really, really cool. Looking at it, yeah, awesome. We get an interchangeable head that doesn't have the hat. So this one, the hat is on there permanently. Let's pop this head off. And then you can see that sweater collar piece is a separate piece. I'm not sure if it's glued down. It looks like maybe you can kind of take it off. I'm going to leave it on there. We're going to pop on the head that does not have the hat. I'm trying to think back in the movie if there was any time where he was not wearing his hat, and you know, could have been. Yeah, it looks really funny without it though, right? The collar of the jacket is so comically large that his head is like buried in there and you can hardly see it. But you know, I guess that works. I still like the hat look better. The white for those goggles is applied nicely. The little comic book dots, they're good. The web lines are all good. They're done. Okay, so moving on to the rest of the figure. Let me zoom out real quick. His jacket is crazy. Like it flares out like an insane amount. It's so wide. It's kind of a pain in the ass. Like all the figures with capes and stuff, it reminds me of like Strange Supreme, how his cape is so damn big and wide, it takes up all kinds of space. The jacket kind of reminds me of the same. It looks very cool, like it's blowing in the wind, because I think basically every time he was shown on screen, the wind was blowing somehow, kind of thing. The ties to the jacket are actually there and they kind of flap around. That is actually pretty cool. So the jacket looks really good. On the inside, it's just a plain white shirt because, again, it was the T'Challa Star-Lord on there. We get a belt with a couple of different pouches in there, so that looks pretty good. Get in for a closer look there. As you can see, those pouches. And then we do have a holster for his gun, but the jacket is kind of in the way, so you can move it around, you could twist and stuff, so you can actually get the gun in there. And the holster is like quite large, so the gun goes in there, and it kind of buries in there. Shit. How am I going to get that out? So the holster's a little too big for the gun. But we get this old school style gun. I know there's going to be a name for it. I don't know what style it is, but it's very reminiscent of the era that Spider-Man Noir is from. So it makes sense. Like a Luger, is that what it is? Anyway, the holster is massive for it's so big. It goes in there, but don't push it too far down because then you will lose it. So I'm going to keep it out there, and I gotta work that belt back into the jacket. But yeah, it looks pretty good. We do get new lower legs, so these are not the same legs as the Star-Lord legs, which is good because these Star-Lord legs were weird. Like it has these things that flare out. So the bottom legs are new. The knees are the same, but the boots themselves are different, and the shoes are different. So not completely Star-Lord stuff. So there might be some new stuff, right? That collar piece, the belt piece, and then these lower legs look to be new. So that is pretty cool. But now let's zoom out and take a look at his articulation. Okay, so Spider-Man Noir's articulation. So the head was on a dumbbell joint, so you're not going to get a whole lot of him looking down, looking up somewhat, not really a whole lot. Full rotation in there, and you get some good neck pivot going on. The shoulder you can get to go up and out that much. Full rotation in there. But you have to work it around the jacket up there. Upper bicep swivel, double jointed pinless elbow, so you get a nice bend there at the elbow. Wrists swivel, and they have the hinge. They have a horizontal hinge on both of those hands. We have the ab crunch on this guy, so Spider-Man Noir can crunch forward that much. That actually works out really well. It looks like a diaphragm joint when you first look at it because the jacket kind of covers up some of the areas there. Ab crunch going back, the jacket is really going to get in the way. You're not going to get any use out of that, really. You have a waist swivel in there. Legs go out that far apart, which is really good. He can kick forward That much, not too bad. Doesn't really go back, plus the jacket really gets in the way. There is an upper thigh cut in there. You get a solid double jointed knee that bends like so. And I realize that it's pretty dark with it being a black figure. No calf swivel or boot swivel or anything like that. Foot hinges down that much. Do we get some hinge up? We get a little bit of hinge up. Ankle pivot, peg holes at the bottom of the feet. So decent enough for this guy. And then depending, how you could do it, you could really make it to look like the jacket's really flaring out in the wind. But it's a matter of getting him to look forward and straight that makes it a little bit challenging and difficult. But he works out. Okay, so taking a look at the comic book counterpart here, we have Spider-Man Noir. This Noir was kind of a kit bash of a bunch of different figures, mainly like the AIM soldier, the upper torso, the same with Ghost Rider, all those figures. The jacket was reused multiple times. The arms, though, were those the standard jacket arms? I can't remember. Nothing was really new on this guy except that collar piece, which they had different collar pieces to go with that torso, and then the head sculpt, of course. We haven't had another Spider-Man Noir again until now, and we get it for Into the Spider-Verse, which I think is a nice touch because we get more and more characters from that first movie. The second movie, which was supposed to have already been out by now, unfortunately was delayed until next year. We know a lot of the basic toys, kids role-play toys and things like that have been on the shelf for a month or two now. And we know that some of the characters that are going to be in it, like 2099, there's a Scarlet Spider, Spider-Punk out there. How much screen time they'll have, who knows? What Legends figures we'll get, who knows? Is it a wave? Is it a Build-A-Figure wave? Maybe, maybe not. We just don't fully know everything. In a perfect world, those Legends would have probably been out by now. But unfortunately, we're going to have to wait a little bit longer. And I'm excited to see who they're going to give us. I would imagine Miles Morales, we should get him because we had this look for him. But I would love to get him in his black and red suit, which we kind of did, but it was a super easy, lazy repaint by Hasbro. And I say lazy repaint, but from what Hasbro has told us is that they didn't have the assets and the likenesses and the information and whatnot to do proper figures for the movie until Sony provided them. And I think it's, that's what they say. It probably goes along the lines of, did Marvel and Sony, were they playing ball to do that, to have additional figures and things like that beyond the Target exclusive 2-pack that came with Glenn? Which is, again, just essentially a repaint of the comic one that came out. So these figures weren't all that special, weren't super accurate, but at least it was something at the time. And then we got some proper figures a little bit later on, which I'll show you here shortly. So across the across the Spider-Verse, we should get some proper figures. Hopefully a good Peter B. Parker, that would be awesome to get. Spot is the villain, so hopefully we get him, and hopefully a Spider-Man 2099. We'll see what we get. I don't know yet, but I'm excited to see. Okay, so here we have our Into the Spider-Verse figures, and then of course we have that Target exclusive 2-pack, but I think we have better versions here because this Gwen is freaking amazing. That head sculpt is one of the absolute best that Hasbro has done. I'm sure it's much easier when it comes to an animated character, but it is fantastic. This Miles Morales is pretty awesome. I'd love to get the black and red suit, the Spider-Man suit, and then Peter B. Parker, I would love to get a Spider-Man suit for him as well, and hopefully we get that when the new movie comes out. But we're missing a key couple of figures. Hopefully one day we'll get a proper Legends version of Penny Parker and the SPDR mech. I actually have the kids toy basic version collecting dust here. I never took this out of the box, but this is a fairly decent stand-in, but I would love to get a proper Marvel Legends version of it, and then maybe some of the villains like Kingpin from the first movie. That would be pretty awesome. Tombstone would be cool. That Doc Ock, Olivia Octavius? That version of Doc Ock would be awesome. That Scorpion is interesting to have a basic one of those, kind of like that Penny Parker. I have that over here too. I would like to see all of the characters in figure form. That's just kind of how it works for me. Now, like, what if that animated show, we got a bunch of figures. The reason why I don't really care for those ones as much is because they were all like 30-minute episodes that, yes, they kind of ended up connecting at the end, but they're all kind of one-off episodes. Do we really need some of those characters? I don't think so. But when it comes to an actual movie, I'd love to get as many characters as we can. So hopefully we see more, especially Penny Parker and the SPDR. But you guys let me know in the comments below, what did you think of Into the Spider-Verse? Are you anticipating Across the Spider-Verse being a great movie like the first one was? I think it's going to be up there. It's going to be hard to beat the first one for sure, but hopefully, you know, they make magic again. But the Spider-Man Noir and Spider-Ham, yeah, it's $30. It's overpriced for sure, but it is a nice addition. It does go well with the team. Again, hopefully we get more and more figures from Into the Spider-Verse, Across the Spider-Verse, and I think Part 3 is going to be called Beyond the Spider-Verse, or is it Across the Spider-Verse Part 1 and Across the Spider-Verse Part 2? But I heard maybe it would be called Beyond the Spider-Verse. Who knows? We shall see. I'm hoping to get more, but I'm curious, were you guys able to get the Spider-Man Noir? I know some people are just now like receiving him, you know, because of shipping delays and everything with Target. It's just been a pain in the ass. But I'm curious to know if you guys got it, if you found it in store, because holy moly, if you did, kudos to you, because it's not showing up in stores around me at all. But you guys let me know what you guys think of the Into the Spider-Verse figures. Noir, I think he's a good one, and if you're looking to build out the team from the movies, he's a must pick up. You know, if you have the Gwen before and you have a Ham, you're going to get another Ham. That sucks. Why they included it, I have no idea. It was not necessary at all. I don't understand the reasoning behind that. They could have just released Noir by himself. They did not need to include Spider-Ham. It's just the strangest thing. It made no sense whatsoever, unless they just really desperately wanted to get that darker blue instead of this lighter blue. I don't know. But you guys let me know all your thoughts in the comments below. If you guys are interested in joining the MCU Collective and becoming a channel member, hit that join button. If you guys like this video, please do me a favor and hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you haven't already done so. And as always, thank you for watching.